Hello friends, here is JMC again, and I would like to start a new series of studio talks in the kitchen. I almost thought about calling them kitchen talks, but let's stick to studio talk. As you can see, or did, the date is the 2nd of January 2021, and I decided to do an intro video on this date because I wanted to have the 2121, and I decided not to fake it because you can always fake it, but at least then the date is going to be in the camera. So 21, my last studio talk was in 2017, that's 4 years ago, although I did try one in French in 2018, and a lot of things have happened since then. For one thing, in 2017 I broke up with my long-year girlfriend, Brigitte. We were together 10 years. This is a really long time, and a lot of that time we had really a lot of difficulty. Let's call it, we had just compatibility problems, and both of us were stubborn enough, each in her own way, to hang on and try to stay with the relationship, but that didn't work after so many years. And what happened was I got to know a neighbor, Monica. She lived just 3 houses down the street, and we got to know each other over many years. Actually, I would see her walking her dog, Emmi. We met, and in a very slow, long process got closer and closer, and before I knew it, we were in a love relationship, an intimate love relationship. I managed to keep this secret for about almost half a year, until Brigitte looked in my cell phone and found a compromising SMS. I'm looking at the clock to see, yes, okay, check on the time. Anyway, she found out, and that was the end of the relationship, because as it happened, Monica had cancer, and although she'd been living with it for over 10 years, in fact she even left her husband, her family in the Schwarzwald to come to Staufen so she could live her own life. And I mention this because for me there was no question of having to decide between the one or the other. It was clear I'm sticking with Monica, and in any case Monica and I had a very harmonious relationship, actually the best relationship I ever had, the most relaxed and trusting, intimate even, that I ever had. And I put all this in the past tense because Monica passed away in March of last year, so that's nearly 10 months ago. And yeah, in the last year the tumor just got bigger and bigger, and although, I mean, she didn't want to do, there was no more therapy, there was no more surgery that could be done. It was just too big, and anyway, I accompanied her to the very end, and I was able to do this because we loved each other on the one hand, and on the other hand she was such a strong woman that she made it bearable for me, or she in a sense supported me in my efforts to accompany her. And in the last weeks of her life I started writing a journal in French, because it was really getting too much for me. I was It was very, very hard to take. And she died while I was writing in this journal on the bed, because she had a very, very, very restless night. And since then I've been kind of trying to catch my balance again. And this was the one thing that made this possible, or at least, yes, well, made it possible, is that I took over Emmi, her golden retriever, and she's my companion now. And I've been trying over these months to get into writing projects and things like this, and not getting very, very far. Have just starting to write one day, 2 days, and then stopping. And so I started looking at the StudioTalks, and there are about 70 of them. And I looked through all of them, and to my surprise, I wasn't either embarrassed or irritated by them. In fact, they helped me a lot to get my self-confidence back, the feeling that my way of dealing with my life, such as it is okay, even if very, very difficult, very much on the edge. And I'm starting to put these in the YouTube, and I'll put them all in YouTube, since you can do that. And who knows, it might interest somebody, but in any case, they're not meant as artistic works, they're documents, and this is a document. And I would like to introduce, well, my life now. What I'm living on is money that Monica left me for Emmi, to take care of Emmi, because she's a big dog, I'll show you, and it's a rather expensive proposition. And also I inherited her car, a BMW station wagon, supposedly for Emmi, although she really hates going into it. And my days, they revolve around taking Emmi for long walks, and she's 12 years old, very slow, but I give her all the time and space she needs, and I try to do my work in between. One of the useful projects that I took up, was clearing my studio and living space and the cellar. And although I got rid of a lot of stuff, but I still have a lot of stuff, and I want to show you what the apartment looks like now. Plus introduce you to Emmi. So here we have the kitchen, which you know, or will know if you look at the StudioTalks. You might not notice the difference, but there is a difference. Here, let me turn the light on. So, trimming the decks. Oh, here, let me put on the light. There you see into my bureau, atelier. There's the famous white rock. And first I'll show you Emmi. There's Emmi. And the bedroom, also a lot clearer. The meditation corner, and here the world. Say hi to the people. Sorry to disturb you, Emmi. So, let's go on. Here is, or was, the storeroom. It still is the storeroom. But believe me, I've taken about 1/3 of the stuff out. This is my e-piano. Let's turn on the Christmas lighting. And we go into now, here's the keyboard I bought to play on the street with a melodica for a piece that I play. And so here's the bureau atelier. You can see the floor, all the notebooks, and this here is my life boy, my lifesaver, starting to work and write on this painting again, the Rembrandt painting, Anna and Tobit. Here is Anna, here is Tobit, not a philosopher. It's backlit, by the way. Made a poster size print. And here are the books. And the stove. And here's another computer station. But I don't know if you can notice, if you know my earlier videos, a lot of the chaos has been cleared. I feel a lot better. So that's one project still in progress, and but I'm very glad at how far I've come. So let's go back to the kitchen and see how much time I have left. Well, it's almost done. So that'll be it for today, the 2nd of January